Thank you so much. It's a very great morning right here in Arua City, and we have come for our talk show that starts right now. I'm Fete Emmanuel, who is your host this morning, and I have beautiful ladies besides me who are here ready to take you through the talk of the day for today. From my right, I have Edith Naome, who is the Child Protection Coordinator for the SPIN project in West Nile program area. That is with the plan. She also supports the program as a gender focal person. You're most welcome to West Nile TV.
Thank you so much.
Yes, you can say hi to our dear viewers this morning.
Hello, viewers and audience out there. Good morning.
Yeah, thank you. That is her, Edith. Thanks for coming around. We shall tell you what we shall be discussing right here. But our producer has already helped us by putting it down there. You can see our topic of discussion for today. And we also have, that is Martina Dubango, who is the sponsorship assistant. That is for NEPI program area. You're most welcome to West Nile TV.
Thank you, Feta. Good morning, our viewers. Good morning, West Nile. It's good to be here. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much. We also have Elaine Joy, who is the project officer. And you're most welcome, Elaine.
Thank you very much. Good morning, viewers, and welcome to this day.
Yeah, thanks. You could be wondering why today this house is filled with so many ladies.
Yeah,
there
sure.
is good news from these ladies. They have a lot to tell you this morning pertaining the Women's Day that we had on the 8th of March 2024. As you well know that March has been scheduled to be the month of the women. Yeah, it's the month of the women. We celebrate them throughout. And if you're a lady, right now you're watching West Nile TV, it's a privilege to listen to these ladies who are coming to help you in one way or the other and tell you a lot of things pertaining the Women's Day. Without wasting a lot of your time, let us have the background for Women's Day. Many people do not understand what Women's Day is and how it all started. It's very important for us to get the background to understand what Women's Day is and how it all started. So Edith is here. She's very experienced in this area and she has done this for quite a long time. I know her Women's Day was very, very grateful.
Very fantastic.
And, so, can you please tell us the background? Give us some updates on how this Women's Day started and all that here.
Okay, thank you very much, our dear host. My appreciation to the organizers of this West Nile TV. To begin with, from Plan International Uganda, we want to say happy belated Women's Day to the girls and women whom we have always engaged and those whom we have empowered, equally those ones who are not yet there. Why we are here today is to advocate that all of us reach that string we are looking out for. Well, going back to the background of International Women's Day. Well, this day originates as the struggle by women for a social change. They want to see that they are out of that place where they were before. And so they did this so that they are able to participate in equal terms with the men. And in that, they were looking at the social platforms, the political platforms, and the economic processes that Uganda as a whole is looking out for. And so, of course, as women, they ought that by doing this, they will be involved in social platforms, let's say gatherings with the fellow women and men, and of course with a picture that in our societies, mostly women are left out because they feel they can't make decisions that count. As when you speak as a woman, you realize that some members, maybe within even the family, will be like, ah, who is she talking as who? Like, why is she talking? Who is she? How does she have that power to even speak on issues that matter about this family? So this was a move to cause change in that regard. Well, this day was declared in 1975 by the UN, that is United Nations, and International Women's Year was recognized on March 8th as a day that will enable all the member states recognize and honor women in all their national states. Of course, Uganda is among the states that recognize, and this International Women's Day was first celebrated in Uganda on 8th March 1984, and this was done at our State House in Entebbe. Of course, I wasn't there by then, but we have all those information, and I'm glad that Uganda is really part and parcel of this change. Yeah. Since then, as we can see, this day has always been celebrated. I remember for Madiokolo district was celebrated exactly on 8th. It was a Friday of this month. Thank you very much.
Oh, where did you attend your Women's Day?
Oh, wow. Well, it was somehow very unfortunate that I had a sick child, but I remember I'm glad to say that my husband is empowered, so he decided to take me out on that day, and it was really beautiful and interesting. Thank you very much.
Wow, that's great. You see, that is what women go through. She had a sick child, but she really had to take care of the child, and she missed somehow, I would say, the celebration.
Sure.
Yeah, with the gathering. So that is a mother's heart also. But thank you so much. Let's move to why International Women's Day. That is Adubango. Why do we have to do this? Why do we have to celebrate anyway Women's Day? Why do we have it?
Thank you, Emma. Thank you, our viewers. Yeah, why International Women's Day, really? Why International Women's Day? Every year, 8th of March has been dedicated to the women. And the whole month of March, if I'm not mistaken, is a women's month. So it's not yet belated. We are still on track.
We are still on track, yeah.
The day has been observed as a national holiday throughout the majority of the nations. Women come together to speak about their challenges, about gender equality and women's empowerment. They celebrate the gains and the acts of courage and determination by ordinary women who have, for the past years, played an extraordinary role in the history of their countries, families, communities, and these women exist. If I may say, the owner of this place is a woman, right?
Yeah, sure.
Thanks to the strength of a woman. The International Women's Day has assumed a new global dimension, as we know, for women in developed and developing countries alike. Yeah, the growing international women's movement, which has been strengthened by 4 global United Nations Women Conference, has helped make a commemoration a rallying point to build support for women's rights and participation in the political and economic arenas. This is seen everywhere. We have women ministers.
Sure.
We have women doctors.
Even us.
Exactly.
The speaker.
The Speaker of Parliament. So this is why we put aside the 8th of March or the month of March to celebrate women, to celebrate motherhood. Yeah. That's why I think.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching West Nile TV right now, and we are talking about the Women's Day, and particularly we are seeing how we can empower more women to understand that they have rights, that they also have rights echo, like as also the men do say, like Edith was saying, sometimes you find the women are pressed down. There are things that they are considered as weaker, and their voices are not counted in many times. But let's get the demographic status of the country of Uganda, of women in Uganda. That is very important. It helps us to know what we are talking about. You know, here we shall be talking about figures. You know, when you talk about figures, you bring statistics of really what is happening on ground. So it will help us to understand whether women are being empowered there or they are not being empowered, and what needs to be done. But let's start with the figures first, and Edith will take us through that.
Okay, thank you very much once again. Well, yeah, when we look at the National Household Survey of 2016-2017, the total population increased from 34.1 million persons in 2012 and 2013 to 37.7 million in 2016-2017, and therefore 40.9 million people in 2019 and 2020, with a sex ratio of 97 males per 100 females, up from 95. So they were looking at 97 per 100, and from that range of 95, which had remained constant since 2005, 2006. 51% of the population is said to be female, while 49% is male, according to the population census of 2014. That gives us a snapshot that the females are actually more. And now when the women are crying that they are not included, yet the male are actually fewer, we would be really assuming that the women or the female should be more in all those spaces, whether social spaces, political spaces, in the economic processes. I would like to say a word of thanks to the President of Uganda, because as we can see, the current parliamentary arrangement, there are more of females, by the way. And now, of course, when you look at him, at least recognizing that women can also be a vice president, that's a plus. They can be the general speaker representing this nation. I mean, it's something really outstanding. So I think we really have a lot to do in that regard to ensure that as much as we have tried, we have moved a step, we need to continue pulling up our socks and involve women at different levels, at different stages, whether we are saying at education, primary levels. I can give an experience of my project that I support in implementing. In most cases, we realize that there are very few girls in upper primary. And it's really a very big concern for us. It causes alarm, because why would they be like 200 in P1, P2, P3, and then when you reach P4, the number starts dropping down, and so we have very many boys. Of course, there are so many barriers that are embedded in there. One of our colleagues, I know, will try to hint a little later on in this discussion and on some of those few. But of course, we shall also want to hear from our audience, what are those things that we can really pick out from and probably cause a change. I want to take us back to a survey of 2023, where our female population for Uganda was 24.5 million persons. Over the last 50 years, female population of Uganda grew sustainably, and from 5.76 million to 24.5 persons, rising at an increasing annual rate. That reached a maximum of 3.50% in 2017, and then decreased from 3.50% to 2.78% in 2023. So I think it gives us some learning therein, of which, I know Uganda as a whole is going to look into some of those things, and of course probably there are issues in there. That's why we see there is some drop. I would like to as well take a snapshot of the 2020 MasterCard Global Index of Women Entrepreneurs. As we are looking at the theme, is talking about accelerating gender equality through women economic empowerment. So in this particular index of, in this particular survey or report, the index of women entrepreneurs indicated that Ugandan women are very enterprising, like very, in that it's estimated that women own nearly 40% of all the businesses in Uganda, meaning that we have capacity to still involve, support, and build the capacity of those other women who have been left out in the 40% to be able to start up their own life through those probably businesses, participating in the different platforms where their efforts can also be felt and recognized. Of course, really, women have efforts. They really struggle, struggle for their family. Now, for us who are here working, you have to ensure that there is a balance between work and family. The decisions at home, many of them, by the way, are determined by women or girls. Trust me, if you have a girl child and she decides not to study, for example, like for me, I'm a firstborn child in my father's home. And so I am assuming if he didn't really take heart to educate me, he wouldn't be getting the support that he's getting now, because I have to pay school fees for my siblings, and we are doing that to ensure that even them, they can have something better for their lives. So really, estimates from various surveys suggest that 80 to 94% of all women-owned farms in Uganda are micro enterprises. However, women-owned businesses continue to face a number of constraints in trying to grow, expand their business. You find there's challenges. Some women actually fail to continue with their businesses. Why? You find that a man comes up and says, please give me the money that you made yesterday. And I'm saying, give me all. But because this is her husband and he's a man, because the society has constructed that a woman must really obey whatever the man is saying, whether it's good or not. So she ends up giving that small capital she has made. And so in the long run, you will realize that that business may not thrive as expected. So there are so many challenges alongside that. They are talking of limited market for their products and services, limited access to appropriate technologies for improved production and value addition. So really there are so many obstacles in there, embedded in that. Wow, so we really have a lot to do in that regard, as you can see. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you so much, Edith, for really giving us that elaborate figures and those details that you've given us. You know, women make a lot of decisions even at home. For instance, just in a homestay. One time I was given the assignment to just decide on what to eat at what time. My friend, that decision is even, it is very hard. Like,
sure.
You need to think of what people will eat every time.
Sure.
Sometimes you feel people are tired of beans, people need meat, and sometimes they don't need the meat.
Sure.
You know, that decision looks simple, but it's very complex to make sometimes. And, you know, we need to support the women so much in different activities that they are doing. Most of them are the ones that sell besides the road. If you travel in Arua city here, you find them sitting besides the road. They are trying to sell things to make sure that ends meet.
Sure.
With their children, they are right there on the road. They are selling these fruits and all that, these veggies. They are selling it. Like Edith said, someone will just appear from nowhere and wants the whole capital. So next time, where will you start from? What will you do? So it's a lot that we have to do, really, as you are saying. But when we join hands together and we work this out, it's going to work for us.
Yeah, sure.
But let's move on with our discussion for today. Why the theme for this year? You see, the theme says, count her in, accelerating gender equality through economic empowerment. You know, economic empowerment is very important. If you're not economically empowered, sometimes you even don't have a voice to talk in a community. Even in a meeting, when you raise up your hands, you're not economically empowered. What are you going to say?
Sure.
It becomes very hard, you know. So economic empowerment is very important, and that's why some women are not really rising up, because economically they are not empowered. So they struggle. So I just want to chip in Joy, who is right here with us, to at least share for us why this theme. This theme is very powerful, and it entails a lot in it itself. Accelerating gender equality through economic empowerment. Why did we go for this theme?
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Emma, and the listeners. Good morning, listeners and viewers. The theme this year is counter in accelerating gender equality through economic empowerment. Just like our host has let us know that economic empowerment, if you're not economically empowered, there are a lot of decisions that you're not going to make. The theme therefore recognizes that economic empowerment has a lot to do with the way that you're going to live, the schools that you're going to go through, the education that you're going to attain. So this year we thought that if we bring in the women and we accelerate their economic empowerment, they are going to come through and make decisions that are going to affect their lives and affect the lives of their families. Right from the nutrition that the children are going to get, the education that their children are going to get, the health facilities that their children are going to get. Women are people that do in a lot, but most of the labor that our mothers do in the community is unpaid labor. And the men come in at the point of value addition. So if I do the farming and the man takes it for the milling, definitely he's going to get more money, and yet I have done more of what? Of the hard labor. So therefore, we want to engage the women to ensure that they are economically empowered. And how are we going to do this? First and foremost, the theme recognizes that there are efforts that have been put in place. Like in leadership, our presenters have already told us that women are already being involved in leadership. But we also have to be mindful what level of leadership is there, what level of leadership are they involved in, and the decision making that they're involved in. Yes, there are positions that may be there, maybe in organizations, maybe even in the household, that you may think the woman is in leadership position, but is the decision that are bringing, is the suggestions that are bringing something that is taken in and help to bring decision, like is it taken in and a harmonized decision is made for the betterment of the organization and the family, or is it something that is just there as fine position is there, but the decision that you bring in is not taken in, okay? And then we also see that the progress has also been there, but there are obstacles that women go through. For example, access to education. There are families that we know of in the communities. Enrollment of the children in primary level is very easy. But when they reach middle primary and upper primary, they tend to drop out. And when you try to follow up why these children have dropped out, they tell you that it is easier to educate the men. The men are the ones who are going to probably benefit the families. And then a child is forced into marriage so that they can bring in dowry into these families. A child is trained into engaging into maybe forced early marriage. So you find that in our societies, despite the fact that we say that there's a step that is taken, it is not deliberate. It is not a deliberate step. In education, it is just for my child went to primary 1 to primary 3, but how many children are actually completing? Okay? How many children are actually completing education? And then also, my colleague talked about women being entrepreneurial. That is very nice. But then we should also be mindful at what scale are our women being involved in our scale. Usually you find that our women, yes, as much as it brings in income, but it is small scale and middle scale that most of these women are. And the men are the ones taking the big chunk. Okay? So this theme is intentional and deliberate for us to use the statistics that we have to inform our decisions. Decisions right from the right to education, like enroll our children and ensure that they complete to the toppest level, to the university. Ensure that the child that has enrolled from, the girl child that has enrolled from primary 1 is taken through to university. This theme is also deliberate. We want to involve the women so that it is deliberate for the women to access the right information, to make decisions that is going to benefit the society, the communities they come in, the families they come in, the education they attend, so that if a woman is making a decision, it is an informed decision and is not forced on them. The theme this year is Count Her in economic empowerment, because we want to give these women information that is going to also make them competitive with the men. We want to see women raise up big arcades within Uganda, own businesses, okay? Be aviators, be lawyers. Yes, we have the lawyers, but we should also look at the statistics of the decision makers in this country, men vis-a-vis women. So the theme this year applauds us to involve the women in deliberate and intentional decision making in things that are going to help them build their capacity, strengthen their capacity in learning, earning, leading, and contributing to national development. Yes.
Wow. Well, thank you so much, Joy, for those important key points that you've been mentioning to us, why they chose the theme. And it's very important that what she has been mentioning through made me think of a scenario that happened this month, early this month or late Feb, where a lady together did some leisure, small farm work, at their place, and after that, when the money came in, the husband decided to use the whole money. But they did the work together, so when this lady was trying to inquire whether they have paid the money, there's no food for the kids, she wanted to buy food and all that. Instead, this guy started beating her instead. And unfortunately, it ended up badly because of the beatings. I think he hit her on the head and all that, and the lady lost her life.
Sorry.
So just like that, and as we are discussing this, I was also seeing the other effect of things sometimes that happen around women that are also very, very dangerous and very hurting. I was seeing what does the plan do to ensure that women are helped out, like the roles of plan. I'm just asking this for us to know what maybe activities the plan do as an organization to help women out of these issues and these circumstances that happen. This is just one example that we have. Yeah. So I have ladies around me here who will explain for us exactly what our plan does. But our time is up. We are going for a brief break, and we'll return after that. We'll resume our talk show. Don't move away from your TV set. And those who are watching us online on YouTube, thank you so much. You can as well as drop in your comments. You can drop in your views. You can drop in your questions on our comment section. We'll be able to display it right on the screen, and we'll be able to read it out. Thank you so much. Let's have this break. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm Salome Adom, Finance Officer based in the Navy Regional Office. Today I just want to take a short slip on how we as Salome understand the theme of the International Women's Day of this year. And starting with count her in. To be as Salome, counting her to me means every decision that I take as an individual, I need to involve the girls and the women, not only in the area of the plan as an institution, but also in my family where I come from. I need to involve them in the decision making, in whatever we are doing for the family. Yeah. And then on my take on economic inclusion for women and girls, I want to understand this economic inclusion in terms of involving women in all the tasks that women also do. I know women are people who do things with a lot of care, love and passion, and I believe that when women are involved, like for instance, when you look at the engineering world, if we involve women, I just try to imagine what kind of things will come out if a woman is involved in it, because I believe they are doing with a lot of care, passion, and love. Yeah.
Okay, I'm Focus Arusho, Monitoring and Evaluation Officer for Rising Project based in Navy. My understanding with the theme, Count Her In, means that in whatever we do, we have to recognize the aspirations and the rights of women and girls, and that they should not only be represented, but they should also fully participate in whatever we do. The other question is, what is your take on economic inclusion for women and girls? To me, it's creating an environment where both girls and women have equal access to economic resources. For example, education, employment, and financial services. It also involves breaking barriers that limit women from fully participating in economic activities. Thank you.
Well, Demas Praise is my name, and I belong to sponsorship. I'm a CDF based here in Navy, PA. So I just want to respond to the first two questions. Talking about what does Count Her In mean to you. Of course, we are looking at Women's Day commemoration, and whatever we're talking about is geared towards celebrating the day of our women. So mine is for question one. Count Her In is basically inclusion. Yeah, bring in the ladies on board to give them equal participation, equal opportunities in every aspect. And specifically, when we go to question two, we are looking at the economic aspect, economic inclusion. How are we bringing the women to participate economically? And I would look at it in a way of giving them access to financial resources. Access to financial resources meaning you can create circles, the VSLS, you've seen them in the villages. Through that, they have access to financial services. Also, as they go out there to the financial institutes, like the banks, I would think the government would put a law in that when the ladies are going out there to access loans, there is a at least they are considered in a certain way. We shouldn't get the same rates. Interest rates as the ladies. I mean, that is just to create a little bit of a level ground to ensure that they are equal with the men, and also training these ladies through financial management, yeah, and also mentoring them in various aspects to do with entrepreneurship. Yeah, basically that is my answer to the first two questions. Thank you so much.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
AFCON, all 52 games live only on StarTimes. StarTimes brings you Africa's biggest football tournament, AFCON 2023 live in English and Luganda commentary. Starting January 13, don't miss Mo Salah, Sadio Mane or Nana. Lead the hunt for gold as they take center stage. Renew your StarTimes subscription today and enjoy all 52 matches in HD live on Sports Premium and Sanyuka Prime. StarTimes, the official broadcaster of AFCON 2023. This message is powered by Techno, the official sponsor of AFCON 2023.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Okay, welcome back from that commercial break, and we are moving on with our talk show. And our dear viewers, what do you think are some of the challenges to economic empowerment of women and girls in West Nile as a whole? What do you think are some of the challenges that these women face? You can drop it on our comment box right there. We shall be able to see it and respond accordingly. And if there is any comment that you want or a view that you have, you can still share it with us this morning as we move on with our program. And right here, we are moving on with this discussion. We are talking about the challenges that women face. I cited a scenario right here out of 1,000 scenarios that happen out there. And I would love to invite Rubango to help us in that as a plan. Maybe what are the strategies that you guys are using, and maybe how far have you achieved this? Joy talked about girls dropping out at the age of 13, you see a lady is already pregnant, 15, and 19, 19 is now too old. They say, this one is now mature, she can get married. And yet, that is a school-going age. She needed to be in school and not to be taking care of children and nursing children. So there are many challenges that women go through, but as a plan, as an organization, what is there on the ground that you guys are doing? Yes.
Thank you, Emma. Thank you, our viewers, for being with us today. That was quite a very unfortunate incident you shared there. And these things are happening, by the way, in our societies. Most of them are even not documented, we don't get to know. But I must say, at least we are on a track. We are moving forward. There's still a lot to do, but we are going forward. And with the time, we will see the change that we need, the change that we are. Yeah, as a PIU, that's Plan International Uganda, we have deliberate moves, deliberate programs to provide, that aim to provide skills and knowledge to girls and to young girls such that they are able to lead, decide, learn and thrive through skills like tailoring, baking, shoemaking. We target those girls, mainly those who have dropped out of school. And there are very many reasons why girls drop out of schools. Some may be the girls themselves, but there are very few that have to do with them. Most of the reason girls drop out of school have to do with me and you, society. So we have deliberate programs. We see it's not about only encouraging them to go to school, but how do we make sure that they stay in school? Enrolling is one thing. You have enrolled a child at P1 or P2 or nursery, but we have to follow. Has she completed her primary education? Has she gone to secondary? How far? And these things need me and you to be part of their life. The parents, the mothers, the fathers, we even involve fathers to see that they provide the materials the girl child needs. Because girls need more than the boys, if I must say. Because at a certain time when she reaches P5 at 13 years, she starts menstruating. Most of our societies think for a man to talk about menstruation is a taboo. You can buy a pads and provide this girl and encourage her to stay in school and tell her this is a normal part of your growth. You're becoming a woman. It is normal, but you have to stay in school. So as planned, we also engage in advocacy engagements with the different actors. We support the strengthening of girls' agency through girls' education movement clubs. We also work with other partners such as the government and the civil society to make sure we raise awareness on issues pertaining girls and women. And these issues, you talked about one, the mother is tilling land, cultivating, weeding, harvesting, then you go and sell, and when she says what, she's beaten. You see? So we have to talk to the grassroots people. We engage our traditional leaders, religious leaders. We engage parents at different levels to make sure that they value the girl. You start by valuing the girl before she becomes a woman. Before we start celebrating her on Women's Day, she starts as a girl. We need to encourage them. We need to support them. We also do a lot of financial literacy classes with the girls, especially those who have dropped out of school, the teenage mothers. We'll involve them a lot. They get to know their rights. They get to know that when they are faced with this and this problem, where do they go to? We have people in society. We have the society has strong backbones which can support. They only need information. So as PIU, we have those programs, deliberate moves to empower the girl child, but also to empower the society where the girl child lives, where the girl child interacts, so that they know her value and start valuing her at that tender age, and she knows her value as well. Yeah.
Okay. Wow, thank you so much. That is a lot of work. especially to empower the girl child in a society that is trying to learn a lot concerning girl child empowerment. Ladies and gentlemen, as we move forward with our discussion at a later time, we'll be able to chip in a beneficiary for you to understand maybe what she's sharing is really not something just cooked on paper, but this is reality. We have a beneficiary that will come and speak to you. You get it from her, how she has benefited and how she has been helped. So it's very important that you stay with us for these few remaining minutes. So what would you like to see change in terms of accelerating gender equality and economic empowerment of women and girls in Uganda? Joy, I think you can still take us through that. What you would like to see, you mentioned a lot of challenges that women face in education and even in leadership. Though most of them are in leadership, but you also said it is not yet balancing. So what do you want to change, especially in accelerating gender equality and economic empowerment of women and girls in Uganda, and West Nile particularly?
Thank you once again, viewers. I'm going to start off by saying that change begins by us. And everyone who is viewing, be it a woman, a girl, a boy, a man, we are the change agents. So what is the ideal society? The ideal society is where a woman sits on the round table with a man and they make a decision on things that are affecting the development of their family. And in doing this, it will also help in involving women in decision making at national level, at community level. I would love to see women being involved from grassroots, from family level. Yes. Is it going to happen right now? That is what we hope for. And like I said, we are the change agents. So if we can start today, maybe we shall come back next year on International Women's Day celebrating something else.
Sure.
If we've all taken a step in doing the right thing. And we would want to see women not only being there as a figure in decision making, let the decisions impact on the education that our children are getting, impact on the information that our girl child are getting. I want to give you a scenario. In Nebi, there's one training that we were for, and because our young girls don't have the right information, but the young boys tend to tell them, especially when they've seen the first period, the young boys tend to tell them, I know how I can stop that for you. And they indulge in sexual activities. Before you know it, we have a teenage mother who is very young to take care of the child, who doesn't know the right information on nutrition, who doesn't even afford clothing for this child, who is supposed to be in school. But if we give these children the right information from the family level, this information, nobody will go out there and lie to this girl child. This girl child will probably remain in school, finish her school, and she'll become a very influential person in society. So we would want to see a place where in the job market, we are equal. Yes, we are equal, we are given the same salary, we are given the same job opportunities. There's no discrimination in society. That is the ideal. But then we are all going to contribute to this ideal society. And it is going to take time, but if we start today, next year we shall come back celebrating something totally different.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, change starts with me and you. That is what Joy has said. You are an agent of change and an agent of change. So let us change our society. Let's build the ideal society that we need. For instance, go to health facilities right now. You find that it is only the women who are there with the children. For instance, you're bringing the child for immunization. It is the woman taking the child for immunization. Should it always be women?
No, even the men should equally be involved. My colleague mentioned that we as Plan International, we have realized that men have been left out. So we have brought in strategies to see that men are involved in things that affect society. We have clubs that target only men, to ensure that men go and influence other male figures, to ensure that they provide scholastic materials for the girls, they provide sanitary towels for the girls. They also involve other men who are in society, who maybe have another perception, to see how they can change their mind on some harmful traditional practices. So we are involving men. Even we also have peer-to-peer sessions where we encourage the young boys to go and talk to the other young boys to see that they have the right information on what sexuality is, what education, how important education is, when they require services, where do they go to. So we are involving everyone in society at different sporas and different projects.
Okay, yeah, everyone is involved in this thing. Men, we are also part of it. We need to get empowered and see how we can also empower the women. You see, an empowered family lives a healthy life. So if the man is empowered, the woman is empowered, these things become easy. Responsibility becomes equally divided, and you see that some of these domestic violence and all these other stories will be no more. Unless we are empowered as men too to understand some of these things. Thank you so much for watching West Nile TV this morning. We are going for a short break and we'll be back after that. Don't move away from your television set.
Urban area. What do I understand by what does counter mean? To me, we talk about what other parents are doing. Counting a lady in women is recognizing a lady's effort in economic empowerment, recognizing their efforts when it comes to family. You find that several times ladies do a lot in families. They do more than men do. I'm sure I'm not celebrating against men because it's Women's Day. But look at the rural lady. Ladies do a lot. It's them who go to the market, fend for the families, while men are in centers drinking. But they do not recognize that effort that a lady puts in. In some instances, you find that men come and pick this little money that a woman has worked hard for to go and bring. Whereas a lady has this whole burden on her, take care of children, education, plus taking care of this man. But this effort is not recognized. So to me, this effort should be considered, and then when it comes to economic inclusion for girls and women, when the opportunities for them to do better business-wise, let them be considered. Let them not just be looked down upon as, you know, these are just mere women, mere girls. Let their efforts and their desires be put into consideration. Thank you.
My understanding of the role of a man in advocating for economic inclusion for girls and women is that as men, we have to challenge all the norms, all the social norms, and the mindset that some roles are designated for only men, and we all know this. The other one is that we can advocate for equal opportunities for women and girls as men, and they will be the ones taking lead in this. We just support them, and where need be, we be the leaders also. The other way is to mentor and support our female colleagues in whatever way they need. For example, I've had some ladies, they feel that in them they cannot do some things, but as men, we have the right to support them and mentor them so that they can achieve whatever they have set. The other one is to promote workspace policies that foster inclusion and amplify women's voices. Thank you.
Wow, thank you.
Mine is just a living example of what we go through in the community. How can, what is our role as men to see that the ladies are economically upright? And for so many occasions, we organize trainings, okay? And we are targeting ladies. We usually do 70 to 30. We want majority to be the ladies. But you realize they are stopped from coming to attend our trainings. Out of the 70%, you will find only 20% ladies participating. And it's not because they don't want. Actually, most of the gatherings in community is ladies who dominate. Finance, you've seen our attendance list. It's ladies who dominate. Yeah? But it comes at a cost. When you stay longer, our trainings usually run up to 4 or 5. Sometimes we are even forced to cut it short. Okay? Maybe to 3 o'clock. Because most times I'm dealing with the youth. And their husbands are also youthful, so they suspect the longer you stay with their women in trainings and they come back at 5, 6, the guys think maybe they have run somewhere to do other things that I don't want to think about right now, but I know what you're thinking is right. Yeah? So the gents actually refuse these ladies to go attend these trainings because they think after training, they run somewhere else. Yeah. So what I'm trying to communicate, let us support the ladies as gents. Let us allow the authorized, give them authority to go and attend these trainings, to go and attend these gatherings, to go and attend every type of meeting in the community, so long as it's of value. And then the other thing is, also joint businesses. Yeah. Let's put together. Let's bring the ladies together with us. We join forces when we're opening up businesses. Yeah, we can also have joint accounts. This actually works. At home, it actually brings the love. The love then becomes bigger. When the lady knows my guy is trusting me, my man can trust me to have a joint account. You don't know what that can mean, madam. You don't know what that can mean to you later on in the day or in the evening. Yeah, having the trust that the man really can even have a joint account with you, a joint business. It brings about trust, it brings about the morale to even work harder and see that we grow up economically upright for the ladies. So thanks a lot.
Yes, thank you so much for watching West Nile TV. We are moving on with our discussion this morning. Very pertinent issues. I think you have watched the video that we have been playing for you that carries a lot of information, even about things that are happening at the grassroots level. But like I told you before, we have a beneficiary right here in the studios of West Nile TV, and she's called Nadia Nyamtoro, who is right here with us. She is a program participant, and she has benefited a lot from plan programs. And I'll give her this opportunity straight away. But before we get to listen to her, I would love to read out this comment that comes from, that is Lillian Ejota, that says, thanks so much in empowering and mentoring young girls and women to find their purpose and realize their full potential in life. A lot of young women and girls have cringed because of no mentorship. Sringed, I think, yeah, something like, because of lack of mentorship. Yeah, there are no mentors out there, but if you come out like this to talk about women, it is a sign of mentoring the young girls. It's very important to them. Thank you so much, Lillian, for that comment. You can too as well as drop your comment. We shall be able to share it right here. And let me turn to Nadia, who is right here with us. She's going to share her story in the local language, that is in Alur. Ametayara Foymatek, Pinan West Nile TV, Kugwenumano. What ya kai kunya megu Nadia, mube chiwe chiwalembe, nyanok iwi konyi menwangu, yorpa plan. Angeo niya plan o konyo Nadia, yorma tung dongamio kabeduno sano ni Nadia kara ewich ibangwa iwi lem menwangu ibang plan samano retalo mawakoro wich ibang Nadia isamano watido anyim ko program wa chalumande mi beruka nenonia wa beruka wechu lembenia waromo meo kony ni nyamegu ginya nedi giromo nwango samoku nyamegu gitie ipegu madit ipatukuno ginwangu le matongtong mubetimire ikingi samoku ipatu inwangu bedu bermbe Pirangoni samoku lempa sendegi lema tungtung gemonde ye waberuka wechulembe wi ninduma ditpa mon ma jodaruka celebrating dwimira dekno podi watingu dwimira dekno zo wabe selu mongi wabe yerunya lemage timuno lemage timu tung samoku otie lemaber kami neno ngompa Uganda inwangunia mon joketu gidong kama tung gibe telu widano kami to the parliament inwangu mon remutie speakers of parliament kabe bidu de vice president inwangu etie mon ginwangu dong ginwangu kafasi mutelu widano dem samoku inwangu de MP ma mon gitie dem rekawoni watie kai kunadia angeo nienu angule matungtung ibang plan samano donga zoli ni Nadia ke wati wa lembema plan timu irima tungtung ma betu noge gitia ngo sama podi i joining plan ngo ko periberu nya nedi donc chalome mondo donge plan romono itie dong participant zo ko peri dong tie nya nedi ko peri lokere nya nedi eno lembe ma mitunwanga ibingi samano ajoli
Odipatek, Nebi District, Lema bin operatie, sama bedu nyakano, ampara weka, bedu diabungwen, ampara weka bedu ko jaja para veda Mondi School, kera e class ashia, ashako, tunde class absia, sende gamondo jaja para gamwe nyawo ku di school agama duo gi pasho gamwe chango etie ku business mo kamete mikira kama shaka loro tigu sama shaka loro tigu agama nwanga nyira moge ai plan ibeka duogo agama penja nyira shania plan utie pinyango shina plan utie school mo ku tie romal shanisha kama penjo gini ajotema ngoyo kakesha Amwishi kesha jotem bakery, hairdressing, art and craft, videography. Kamwishi okele mokupe. Akashide kwamba jaja para kishipenyo kana shwako lembeni. Ashide bajaja para, nyuto lembeni sone jaja para. Para gamu iyo. Penyo ni ajumitungo sente. Aweshi sente kesha ajumitungo. Just shide pikameni. Ashide plan. Ashaka timu hairdressing. Sama timu hairdressing, awoku di hairdressing, aduoga shakati umapara, shakati mobile hairdressing. Kangati luang kama ashedo, ngati luang kama ashedo, kama shakati ya shaka nuang kudu sente moku. Na hapita duak for ni plan international. Gikmiki rangesh, na ngeongo kana bibedo pikameni. Kamita foigi.
kawoni dong itimango chalo cheng mande yer wania ichako loro tigugi angogi redon kawoni pinymi timo tiango
kawona timo kedwish
customer perigi tiele
customer tie
kamoko mi bedu ie kumenu tie nyu iwotu da podi mobile
awota mobile podi.
Okay. Yeah, thank you so much for watching West Nile TV, and I will request Adubango to just translate what she has been saying in the local language for those who do not understand Alur, so that we all understand what she has been telling us. You're most welcome.
Thank you, Emma. I'm privileged to be Nadia's interpreter. She was just narrating to us her life. Her mother left her at 9 months, abandoned her with her grandmother. Her grandmother tried to raise her, took her to school. She studied from P1 to P6. Finances became hard for the grandma. The grandma withdrew her from school, sat her down and told her, I am going to give you some money, you start business. We will sustain ourselves like that. So the grandmother gave her some money. She started selling okra in the market in Nebi. Then one day, on her way from the market, she met some girls whom I think she knew from school, from the neighborhood, and she asked them where they were from. They narrated to her the school or the hub where Plan was training, skilling girls and teenage mothers. She picked interest, went back to her grandma and tried to talk to her about it. And the grandmother, her only challenge was like, won't they need money? You dropped out of school because of money. Now if you're going for skilling, and won't they ask for some money? When she told the grandmother it is free, this thing is funded by Plan, the grandmother was excited, encouraged her, and she went and got her skilling in hairdressing. She started doing hairdressing, mobile hairdressing. People call her up to date. But she says from that time up to now, her life has improved greatly. She's sustaining their home. She's supporting her other siblings in school through her hairdressing, and she's very, very grateful to Plan. And she's encouraging fellow youth out there who may not have the capacity, whose parents may not have the capacity to take them to secondary or to complete education, that they should venture into those skilling things and empower themselves and be able to support their homes and families.
Okay. Yeah, thank you so much. Dong chalo esamano Plan periti angoni chalo kam jero kam ormoko kada chela rio kam gwa beach kumeno Plan periti angoni ineni rikane orumanoge.
I didn't understand. Tell me again.
Ayaria kam dong oru moko kado kono chela rio ibe neni rikane business mi betemo no kam go cooperi kam go Plan periti ango iwi cooperi samano ibe pardon lembe angoni iwi kununia chaldong mi nwangu opportunity no idong ibe kadu widano ibe wotu ibe temo Plan peridong ti ango i cooperi Plan periti angoni lemi mito temo ti ango.
Ana Plan varati nia makona ngayab salon paragira abedi wi agira chaka kedwish maparagira ashaka kelo wivgi pin makende no gino abeka tiyo ko gira koda shed nyonga shigam nyongo pangati.
Okay, very important. You can translate that.
Okay. Yeah. Where Nadia sees herself in the next 2-3 years, her hope is that she can open her own salon. That means renting a place, have the instruments, because these days, when she has to make somebody's hair or plait, she has to buy weaves from somebody else's salon or a shop. She doesn't have dryer. If somebody's hair has to be treated, she has to buy the chemicals, pick a dryer from a friend, and so on. Her hope is that in the next 1-2 years, she will have things of her own and sit in her place, and her customers find her there.
Okay. Wow. Thank you so much. Edith,
yes, please.
How many of these girls are there that you have been helping or something like this in Plan? This is a very good, important testimony.
Yeah.
And you've seen that she already has plans in the coming years. She wants to establish herself. She wants to have a salon. She's thinking of how to empower herself economically. Many girls, maybe young girls like this who are not empowered, will be thinking of when I will get married. In the next year I want to get married, but she's thinking of setting a salon. How many girls have you empowered like this?
Okay, thank you very much. I may not be very exact, but I can assure you there are more than 50 girls who have benefited, because there are different stretched programs that are targeting these young girls. Recently we had a project that closed last year, and they had a training again equally on tailoring, hairdressing for 3 months that had various girls participate. But what I can give you briefly is that there are more than 50. It could even be more than 100.
Wow.
And really, most of them, when you visit them, you really see that there is a turning point in their lives because of these engagements. And so I would like to still take that very opportunity to encourage parents out there who have this kind of children, living with them in their homes. It is not all about reaching university. In an event that you're not able to get to that level, at least we can explore other options and empower these people to survive on their own, probably by doing a short course on tailoring, hairdressing. It could be also doing just things like bricklaying. Some people survive on that. They lay bricks and people buy. They get capital from there for them to thrive.
Yeah. Thank you so much. It starts like that. You start, sometimes you start with certificate, you reach diploma, you never know. When you get some opportunity, you can reach bachelor's. It happens like that. You keep on upgrading. So thank you so much for helping these young girls. Dongi, apenjo niadong. Iyaro ni ngatimo kumu benenwa sano. Iyaro angoni, maybe nyamegumoko benenwa samano. Kooperi nyaudong kitema kooperi beru. Chil mi tundutino. Lembe nomo yero ni ngatimo benenwa samano tiangone.
Akwayo anyirawada. Anyirawada kudigi kwa kitko maana kwa ye. Ande kangi bekadi peko maana kadi Plan International temi manano. Isi the Plan International. Kudigi nyol swa. Plan International tie. Actually the Plan International again yongo jobirie manyongo ni ana nyol. Actually the Plan International jorie mango actually the bedu kule wish ni ani kendare manyoli kindanta zo. Abedu kule wish. Ra bedu kakeja chaka mikira tegu shwin. Chaka mikira tegu shwin. Shinyada kuteka wona beda abu kweyu anyirawada. Kudo kwa kitko maana kadi ye.
Okay. Yeah, thank you so much. You will help us. Yeah.
She's imploring, begging, asking fellow girls out there that don't lead her lifestyle, but even if you do, you have a child, because by the time she was joining the plan program, she had a child. She was feeling shy that maybe people will talk about it, maybe she will be sent away, but she was welcomed with warm arms. She took on her skills for 3 months and came out like this. So those young girls out there listening, even if you're a teenage mother or you failed to get fees to go back to school, join this program. It's for free. Empower yourselves. You'll produce later.
Okay. Okay. For you, Matek. Inangu dong tegu trin manya nedi pirangoni Charlie size perino. Overcoming situation chanya nedi pegumi beri yeno kadenya nedi plan remu konyizo elembene angore motimire kenyuti wandu testimony perinya no kende
Pekuma bega kadiye. Plan International konyare kupekwe nigiso. Pekuma bega kadiye. Na abedo kumiti mibedo kudadi para. Angeo dadi parango. Jubinyo nyutira nanga ora para rio. Junyutira niya dadi para top. Jugude kumutikari. Gude kumutikari. Agama bina penjunia. Ebedu kani, yoshe bedi pakwashi. Juga mtinga jutera kama eni iye. Jotera nang dongene tho. Amin nanganen wa dadi para manang kodisha. Bad gi bedo go kumampara. Bedo go kumampara kara shelo. Ale bedo taking gi mampara ga muweka madu ya bungwencha. Mampara shidi wange ende de ga mishidi wange. Akwoko jaja para bir kawoni.
Wow. So touching one, but thank you. I think you help us, Adubango.
Yeah, Nadia says her inspiration, her strength comes from the fact that even while she's an orphan, she has reached this far. She thought she would have lived like a normal child with both her parents, but so unfortunate, she never got to know her dad, because when she was 12 years, that's when she was informed that your father has been knocked by a car, and I think she was taken there when he had already been buried. She never met him. She never saw her mom, because her mom left her at 9 months. So she's trying to say that no matter the situation, you can turn your life around. If her total orphan who never knew both her parents can be this, then there is hope.
Thank you so much. Wameto kwa okisa ibang dano moneno West Nile TV mangemu maro lembe angeo samano na ngomitu wa keliu lembe angea rekam program tokso mamwano dar lembe angea binu yoringe wakwa okisa ibengu wadonko dakika ma nok kende weko kaberuno kara lembe angea ne binde. For your Matek, thank you so much, our dear viewers. Our time has been well spent. We are just coming to summarize these important discussions that we have been having here. We have been talking a lot about empowering the women. You can see that women go through a lot, even the young girls. Okay, leave alone the grown-up women. The young girls also suffer a lot at the grassroots level. Sometimes we don't think about it, we don't mind about it, but they really suffer a lot. Kumakech Rasul says thanks so much for empowering and mentoring young girls and women to find their purpose and realize their full potential in life. A lot of young women and girls have shrinked because of no mentors. Yeah, it is still going back to lack of the mentors. We surely need these mentors. We also have another message coming in from Beck Kite that says, Happy Women's Month. Yeah, it is a Happy Women's Month.
Thank you.
That's why I'm the only man here. Trying to balance them. Happy Women's Month, we celebrate them. To all the phenomenal women who continue to break barriers and defy all stereotypes, you are amazing, and we celebrate the achievements of women, past, present, and future. Yeah, thank you so much for celebrating the women. We also do appreciate that. How I wish that we celebrate them each and every time, not only in the month of March. Let's celebrate these women.
True.
Yeah, it's very important. Thank you so much for those comments. You can keep them coming as we summarize our discussion for today. Green Rose says it's good to hear what Plan International is doing for the empowerment of girls. However, what is the plan going to do about the continuous cultural restraints on the role of women? Yeah, I understand that most of our cultures restrain women in so many other activities, but we thank God nowadays women also eat chicken. Those days women could not eat chicken, and the gizzard was for the men. But Green Rose, I think things are changing. With time it will be better. Bit Hola says thanks for the show and happy International Women's Day. Nadia Nyamtoro, thanks for the representing Smart Up and Plan International. We are proud of you. Wow. Nyamtoro, thank you so much for being bold. By the way, you're too bold. Yeah, she's bold. It takes courage for someone to come and start talking about herself and start talking about what she has gone through, the experience that she has had. I think Plan has empowered this lady so much. that she now has big plans of having her own saloon and all that. Yeah, thank you so much for watching West Nile TV this afternoon. We have a few minutes to wind this up. How I wish Dubango and Edith, next time you bring for us more of these young girls. We need those testimonies. I believe people who are watching us right now get inspired. Even the young girls get inspired. If the parents are watching, maybe their young girls messed up at certain point. They're like, now if the likes of Nadia can come and talk now also on TV, you see, it inspires them. It says like, okay, my girl, the future is not yet doomed. We can still do something. Let's send her to Plan, or else let's look at organizations also who can assist. You know, there are many organizations out there. Plan is also helping. So this is very inspiring. I think we need more of these testimonies coming. Maybe Edith, what you can respond to the other question, cultural restraints that are put on women. What is the plan of a plan?
If I remember, maybe we can flash that question again.
Yeah.
What is plan going to do about the continuous cultural restraints on the role of women? Well, it is not about going to do. What I can say is that plan is already having actions on ground, and as my colleague earlier on spoke about what plan is doing, is that one, we are working with the government and civil society organization, cultural leaders, politicians. You will realize that in our meetings and advocacy programs, we try as much as possible to engage with these categories of stakeholders to ensure that we break those constraints, those barriers. And why we are actually empowering these young women is that we want them to be able to speak against things that are harmful to them. Yeah, those harmful cultural practices that really are putting the women down. So we can still continue doing that, still in our programs. And why we are here today still too, we want to open an eye of someone out there that, you know what, even a woman can sit on a TV station and speak positively and speak on issues that matter for the women. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Edith, for that. Adubango, our time is well spent. Maybe your last words you can share with us.
Thank you. My last words to our viewers in this Count Her In. I'd like to implore our dear men, hold our hands, let's move together. Omak chingwa wawuth karashielo. Ibikia madri amachiki tualo. Mutukwate kumikono tutambulire wamu. Sulto kumida tena. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. I'm with you in this. We shall hold your hands. Surely you will not fall. Thank you so much, men. Let's help these women. Let's help them in any way that we can help them. Yeah, Edith, your last words.
Well, thank you so much, dear viewers and listeners out there. Well, in my last words, as much as we've tried to accelerate progress in regards to empowerment of women and girls in this West Nile, in this Uganda, there are still very many challenges that girls and women go through. And like she's saying, really hold our hands and we move together, because the norms alone in our society are very harmful. One of them is that you realize in some societies, some rigid communities, still women don't eat their gizzards. They don't eat the best part of the chicken. Women don't get to speak in meetings. Even when they speak, whatever they say does not count at all. So we are saying, please, even women decisions, women ideas can still take us forward. They matter, they can make us develop. Allow women to socialize so that they, in fact, if she was not to socialize with her friends, she would have not known that Plan had that program that was supporting the young girls. Sometimes as women alone have our own attitude towards fellow women. And so we are requesting that please, as the fellow women, the fellow girls, let's work together and encourage those that we feel are still low, are still down, such that they can also be better people. Well, engaging the men on matters that really affect girls and women, we feel that men can do much better to have those women engaged, to have those women uplifted to higher levels of life. Yeah? For a woman to realize their full potential, there must be a man. It's not a standalone issue. And as we celebrate women, it's not that we are only celebrating women, we are also celebrating those men who have made those women to be whom they are.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Wow. Thank you. Yeah, we are celebrating the men too. It's not only women. We had a last question that just popped in here from PK. PK says young girls are being underlooked and not included in decision-making aspect or platforms. This means their problems are not being put into consideration. How shall girls to be put in decision-making? How do we put girls on equal platform? Nyamtoro iromu wechu iwi penj madu penjuno nia anyirama nok nogi samoko genwangu ngo kabedo ni wechu ikinge kamgo ni wechu le migi iromu nia iparperi joromo konyo anyirama nya nok salu ino ginyanedi karagi dongi ile matungtung decision making mange platforms matungtung. I think I've asked it right. Parperi
Nyirawada kana makonyi shalve unplanned international konya makanda konya nyirawada kid konya asheltie
chalo kiteba chengmi nwango konye bang plan ilaro wechi bang nyiramoko gineki don iparperi igenunya kam nyakumoko tie ebe tedo ekwome tede yeno iyerere angone
ayerere nya manashen anda bega kade kwome besika kade no agama doga nona nyirawada ge ai plan international gibe dogo apenjo gani a plan international tie kani nyirawada ga mweshiranya plan international tie mala agama wesh me friend harama weshire aweshire ni anyati fa kudi tagi plan international tie kabedo makonyo dano ashidu ga kesha tie pe malete mutiele bakery hairdressing art and craft videography washidoga kesha bisino anu pe mimi tukati mtio ga kesha miromo koni kuduko peli mapodi mono be kome analara kadi ye
aha inano no wechi bang jarimperi konyi ibini plan enwangu konyi dong itie kawoni no dong nyamegu mube winju wasama no mube nenu wania talume yeru kado ipegu na makungoku di kadi ye re ene tie de maber kami nene kawoni de romunge ongo cooperative maber nyutunia lebenogi chugu samoko ke kado niki samoko wa kado ipegure kame nwango kony lembene kado nyutu dongo ni akoperi dar zono kumenungo lembene samoko dar nonga kwayo adubango iloko lembeno kodo mondo mange dong summarizing lembenezo
Afoyo Jowinjwa, our listeners, what Nyamutoro is trying to say is that information sharing is very powerful. She didn't know about plan, she got to know from colleagues. In the same light, she's also sharing with her friends and colleagues. She's imploring those friends to also share with friends. And also to you, the viewers, those who are viewing this program now, you know Plan has something in store for the youth, teenage mothers, the young adults. Please direct them, share this information far and wide. In that way, we'll support the girl child to grow and be able to make decisions that affect her life and also support her life and family.
Okay. Thank you so much, our dear viewers. We are stopping here, but you can still rewatch this program on YouTube. Just get to West Nile TV handles. You'll still watch it. We have been here together with Edith Naomi Iboke, who has been taking us through. We also had Martina Dubango, who has been with us right here. Thank you so much. Elaine Joy was also with us here for the first hour of the show. Thank you so much, Joy. And Nadia Nyamtoro, who is a program participant. Thank you so much. Till next time, I believe that next time our plan will bring more of the Nyamtoros for us. Thank you. Bye-bye for now. It has been me, Fete Emmanuel.